Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Director of Football Sabotage with Livorno. Now in today's episode we have Borussia Dortmund in the Europa League first knockout round, but our Director of Football has been at it this time and unfortunately he's left us a little bit weaker. So as you saw in the last episode, the January transfer window closed for Italy, and as you know, Italy's transfer window closes a little bit earlier than some of the other major European nations. And unfortunately, our backup or first choice goalkeeper, Andras Dullo, got an offer from Schalke of it was around £15 million, rising to 15, 8.75 initial fee. And as you can see there, £15.5 million including add-ons. Obviously, he's got quite a lot to do if he is to rise to that sort of fee. So realistically, you're probably looking closer at the 10 to £11 million mark that we're actually going to receive for him. But that has now left us with only one first team goalkeeper, so we are struggling a little bit. I have promoted somebody from the under 22s. He is no good, so he's not going to be the sort of level that Dullo was. And Dullo did play quite a few games for us this season, played 12 games in the league, only conceding 6 goals with 8 clean sheets. So he was definitely a better goalkeeper in terms of how they played in games compared to Jovanovic, but Jovanovic is now got to be our first choice for the rest of this season. Obviously, financially, that leaves us quite a bit better off. We're currently sitting on £32 million in the transfer budget. But I do imagine that that's pretty much not going to get spent, and it's just going to get rolled over towards the next season's transfer budget. But we'll move on to the games that you've missed since the last time we met, and the first of which was away from home against Udinese, and we managed to win 2-0. Stefan Carpanu, our centre-half, getting a goal in the 30th minute, and Ziga, let's call him Ziga, our new striker that was signed in the January transfer window, came on off the bench and got himself a goal as well, which is fantastic. We then followed that up with an incredibly disappointing 0-0 draw at home to Chievo. As you can see, we did dominate the match and we did create enough chances to potentially win this tie, but unfortunately we didn't put anything in the back of the net and we fell to a 0-0. We then went away from home against Perugia and managed to win this one 1-0. David Mammarella getting the goal for us in the 27th minute, with Fick getting man of the match from left back. We are in the Italian Cup semi-finals and we are playing Lazio, and in the first leg of that we have won 1-0. This was the home tie and Mammarella get himself a goal again in the 23rd minute, which meant we'd take a narrow lead going into the second leg. And finally, before we'll play Borussia Dortmund today, we did play Crotone at home and Carpanu got a goal giving us a 1-0 victory. So that brings us to today's game, where it will be against Borussia Dortmund at home in the first leg. We will play AC Milan off camera in between and we'll play the second leg afterwards. So this is the lineup that we're going to go with for today's game. Jovanovic, of course, our only first choice goalkeeper, will start in goal. Belangioli, Carpanu, Vlad Paul and Fick in the defence. Stoichev, Solossi, Milenkovic in midfield, with Banga, Mammarella and Zak leading the line. I just had a look at the Dortmund team. Felix Paslak is still about and he is an absolutely fantastic right back, probably one of the best in the game. Mamana, he's signed from Russia, I do believe. Where was he at? Zenit? Yeah, he looks like a very, very quality centre-half. They've still got some good real-life players. Akanji, I'm not sure how he progressed quite nicely in this save. A really talented Swiss centre-back. They've also got the likes of Alexander Isaac, who of course is our old boy from our West Ham days. Absolutely fantastic player. And Timo Werner playing out on the right. But we'll get into today's game. Hopefully we can take a lead back to Dortmund would be ideal. But honestly, you know, getting past Dortmund would be a big, big achievement for us. And we kick off this first half shooting from left to right. Hopefully the boys can get a bright start. Highlight now 8 minutes in and Dortmund are on the ball quite deep in their own half. They've played it quite well and found a pocket of space on this right hand side. Timo Werner cutting inside, takes a strike from long range. The keeper probably had that covered, but decent strike by them. 15 minutes in and it's potentially our first highlight of the game, although Dortmund are chasing and pressing quite a lot. Belangioli on this right hand side with the ball in, Akanji clears and Dortmund can probably counter. Alexander Isaac tries to play the ball over the top. Fick manages to mop it up. And I'm not sure where this highlight's going. Solossi now finds Belangioli on this right hand side. A decent delivery in and we've got a chance in Mammarella. Is he offside? Is the VAR? I don't know. He's going over to review the footage. We'll see if they are going to give this goal or not. It was great play by us to get the ball down that right hand side. And Mammarella does well to get the goal and the goal will stand. And we are 1-0 up 17 minutes in here. Great play by us. Mammarella at that front post beating the keeper to it. And Come on, boys. Another highlight, and this time it's a corner from us. Carpanu plays it in, but it's cleared by the Borussia Dortmund defence. It's better outside. Mammarella's there again, and that's his second goal of the game, his second header. Carpanu with the assist this time from the left-hand side, and we have started absolutely fantastically. 32 minutes in, it's more than I could ever ask for. A 2-0 lead going into half-time. If we can keep it that way, lads, let's just keep it cool. So we have went on the counter in today's game. The early highlights, the early possession and the match stats suggested that they were on the ball a little more than we did. So I think going to the counter quite early has proved quite beneficial for us as we take the 2-0 lead into the second half. Hopefully Mammarella can get himself a hat-trick. That would be fantastic. Another corner and another highlight. Mammarella's back post. Is that his third header of the game? A second assist for Carpanu. I'm not too sure why he's our corner taker, but I'm not complaining right now. Mammarella with a hat-trick of headers. Oh, fantastic. Fantastic stuff. So we're not dominating this match, as the scoreline would suggest, but we are being absolutely super clinical, and Mammarella has more than proved his worth this season. Highlight now, this time Dortmund are coming forward down this left-hand side. Hopefully, Belanzuoli can keep him out. He can't. Fick clears, and we're clear again, but it falls back to their midfield, and they can probably build something from this. Felix Paslak coming down this right-hand side is played to Seaman Chol. Timo Werner's in the centre, and Borussia Dortmund get a goal back. It's always disappointing to lose your clean sheet in the home tie. Now Dortmund do have that away goal, which could prove so costly. We just don't concede again. Listen, one goal, it's not that big of a deal. We can handle that. 20 minutes to go. We'll make some substitutions. Tristan Fick's going to have to stay on. We actually haven't got a left back registered, a backup one, and that was just a whole other issue. I'm not even going to talk about that. Stoichev will go off for Hugo Fernandez. Matsalossi will come off for Crociati. We'll freshen things up in the centre, and hopefully them two can keep a solid defence for us. And we are going to actually go on defensive for the final 10 minutes. They have changed formation as well and went more attack and pushed the wingers up. And the attacking midfielder up, sorry, more like. But there is another highlight, and Dortmund are coming down this right-hand side again. Oh, Vlad Paul. Not now. Not in the 90th minute. Why? Why have you done that? He's been performing so well since he came in. We've kept a lot of clean sheets since him and Carpanu have partnered up in the centre of defence. But he's not very technically gifted, particularly his first touch. So that's just typical. So a 3-2 win. I would have taken a victory against Dortmund in the first leg, regardless of how it came. But because we were 3-0 up, and maybe some of the tactical changes I made weren't a great one. You know, they haven't actually done anything for us. So now we'll go 3-2. We've got a lead to defend, but it's going to be tough. So we've just played AC Milan in between the Dortmund games, and they are top of the league and dominating as far as things go. And unfortunately, we fell to a 3-1 defeat. Darian Schmidt got the goal for us. It was an equaliser in the 69th minute. A lot of goals came in that 5-minute period between 66 and 72, which is a 6-minute period. Moise Vlad Paul scored another own goal, so that's a great run of form for him so far. Yeah, disappointing to lose, but they are top of the league, and unfortunately we haven't got the quality to sort of match the best in Serie A just yet. And I've just realised I never actually showed you the league table earlier on. After that game against Milan, we are currently sitting in 4th position, but we are 5 points clear from Roma in 5th. So ideally, we'd qualify for the Champions League once again this season, but it's by no means guaranteed. And we are 4 points adrift of Inter Milan in 3rd, so we are losing ground in the title race. So we're here, it is second leg day, and due to some injuries, some forced changes has had to be made. Jovanovic will start in goal. Belanzuoli, Carpanu, Vlad Pala and Fick will start in the defence. Stoichev, Milenkovic and Crociati will start in midfield, with Jordbanga, Zach and Darian Schmidt starting up front. Unfortunately, Mammarella is injured for about 8 weeks, so even if we do manage to get past Dortmund today, he is probably going to miss the next leg as well. And I think we've got about 4 first-team players on long-term injuries now, which is a little bit disappointing. So we kick off against Borussia Dortmund. We are going to go on the counter straight from kick-off. It worked well against them last time, and you would imagine that they are definitely going to go for it this time. We know what we have to do. We currently have a 1-goal advantage, so if we manage to keep a clean sheet... I just thought it was going in. If we manage to keep a clean sheet in this game, we are through until the next round. Is it the quarterfinals? Quarterfinals straight away in the Europa League, or is there a second knockout round? I can't remember. Highlight now, Dortmund with a corner, 20 minutes in, Jovanovic claims. And we'll see where things go from here. Dortmund come forward down this left-hand side. Alexander Isak's got the ball in the box. Jovanovic with an absolutely fantastic save. Keeps us in this game. Obviously, if Dortmund get an early goal, they are at such a huge advantage, knowing that they don't need to push anymore. They can hold on to that and go through on away goals. 8 minutes to go till the second half, and there is another highlight. Alexander Isak gets dispossessed by Carpanu on the edge of the box. Tristan Fick tries to set away Zach down the left-hand side, but Mamana can clear it up and get rid. Jord Banga plays it to Belangioli on this right-hand side. Darian Schmidt is there. Switches the play nicely to Fick on this left-hand side. Decent crossing. Zach's there. Come on. Get the ball in the back of the net. Oh, man. It's Dortmund are dominating right now. 30 seconds to go to the end of the first half, and there is a highlight. Belangioli. So, you've probably just seen me mic cut out. Fortunately, I'm not reloading that. We've just snuck through, and you can see by the proof that I did play that match and we did draw 1-1 with Dortmund. The draw for the next round is today, so I'll continue on until we get to that. I'll make sure my mic's working, and it is, and we'll do the draw. So, automatic draw. A lot of Italian teams still left in the competition. Napoli, Juventus, Milan, Sampdoria and ourselves are still in the competition, and there's Napoli out with Arsenal. That's great. We do not want to face Arsenal. I would have loved to have faced Anderlecht or Ghent. Zenit, I'm not too sure about. I'm not completely sure how good they are. Napoli, I would have rather have avoided Napoli, so I'm glad about that. Juve, I do not want to play. And they've got Spurs, fantastic, absolutely brilliant. So we are next out. Who we're going to face? We're going to be facing Olympique Marseille. So Marseille will be an interesting tie. We'll see how we get on against them. I'm not too sure how well they have developed in this save. They are currently in 4th in Ligue 1, so they're looking like they're going to qualify for European competition next season. Who's their key? Pedro is their key player. I mean, he's good. Listen, he's very well rounded, and but he's not amazing. You know, Kevin Strootman, their captain. Alhami Touré is a really good right back. And we'll see who their most valuable player is. 57 million Pedro, Juan Pablo Del Vela, a 22-year-old winger who looks incredibly talented. Regen Fiorentino Luis is a really good defensive midfielder from Portugal. So it's going to be no push over this. But I would say that Dortmund are a better side than Marseille based on pretty much nothing, really. But I would say that, you know. And I think we've got a good chance of getting through in the next round against them. But anyway, I apologise for the microphone cutting out. If I had noticed, I would have stopped and set everything up again. But unfortunately, it is what it is. We did manage to get through. Well, he's the fixture. 1-1-1. Drew 1-1. Went through on the night 4-3. Milenkovic did get injured. I will have to cut out the speech about all of our injuries that we've currently got. We are missing Mamarella for 7 weeks, Ivanovic for 2 months, Zolossi for 7 weeks, and Milenkovic for 4 weeks. So it's not a great time at the minute. But anyway, if you have enjoyed today's video, please consider leaving a like, and if you enjoy my content, get yourself subscribed. But until next time, take it easy.